All right, the West Coast Swing Whip. It's the first of your 8-count basics, and in this video, we're gonna tell you some things you might not know about the whip. My name is Brian B.
I'm Miss Megan.
Now, whether you're a beginner dancer, a new intermediate dancer, or a dance teacher, this will be a super helpful video. So let's look at the whip, the 8-count whip. We'll count it out. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're gonna talk in 2-beat increments, the mistakes that the leaders and the followers make. So leaders, on the first 2 steps, and we're also gonna talk in concepts, not exact footwork. So I have to lead Megan down the slot, and I have to get out of the way on my left side. So I can do that a couple different ways. I can either step back and diagonal and cross my feet tightly, or I could step back and diagonal and bring my feet together. Either one accomplishes the goal, right? So leaders, that's your first thing. For the followers,
we have a forward step, and eventually we need to make it backwards. So 1, 2. There are going to be multiple different ways that you can do this. If you are a beginner, I would just aim for forward, turn back. You will eventually find that you probably land somewhat sideways and then go backward. But if you think that right away, you're never going to end up backwards.
So those are the first 2 things, forward. Now lead-wise, if I take everything out of it, here's what leaders don't get right. They just start to pull this hand around the corner. But really what I need to do is I need to lead Megan forward down the slot and have tension in this hand at that moment. Then when I pull on that hand, she turns around, right? So Megan said, it was a great thing you said, you're going to aim for forward and then all the way back. If you think it's a whip, forward and all the way back. So leaders, I need this hand to come down line with connection and then a little hook to the hand to get her to turn around. Then I need to offer this hand up for her for count 2. 1, 2. Another rule for West Coast Swing. Almost never is the follower going to be fully past the leader on the first 2 beats, right? So you're not going to be past the leader. So you know that you're going to try to turn around in front of him, right? So notice she's in my circle of trust, as my friend Jason Miklik says. This hand's going to go on her shoulder. Now here, she's going to go back together forward, back together forward. As I step across, leader's footwork is going to go 1, 2, together, together on this side and across the slot on count 4. Followers are going to go back together forward.
Yes, followers, after you get backwards for 1, 2, it is our job to fill out the connection, which hopefully means go backward. We're going to go back, back.
Cool. Now notice she didn't say forward. Ooh, what does that mean? Let's go backwards to go forwards. So we're anchored here and connected away. There is the same feeling at this end of the whip. 1, 2, 3, and. Why? Because she's gone that direction, and she only comes back across because I tell her to for 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there's a concept that we travel and teach. We obviously teach it here in the studio, but when we travel, it's one of the concepts we teach. Feet together, heels down. What does that mean? I usually take the biggest guy in the room, and I walk up to him, and I say, you know, you've been taught to lower your lats, connect with your center, and all of this stuff to try to connect. But I say if you put your feet together and your heels down and you put weight into that, Megan knows that this is happening, right? It's very easy to connect into that hand. You don't have to fuss with all this stuff. So if Megan dances 1, 2, 3, and she puts that foot down, she's connected away, right? Now from here, I would have had that hand. As I step across, there's a little bit of a delay at this point. So in beginner class, you're just stepping on count 4. We're happy you're doing it. But as we get better, there's a little bit of a delay, a lot like the delay that we would have when we're walking, right? There's a little bit of a delay before she goes past. On count 4, you're going to have that little bit of a delay. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're just going to keep going. That just fell down on us. We're going to keep rolling. Who cares? Now, one of the things we cover in our other beginner class series was that on 1, 2, you're kind of chilling, and on 3 and 4 is when you pass, right? So when you're passing the leader, it's actually happening rather rapidly. So if we look at this whip from this side, 1, 2, 3, and there's a delay. 4, 5, 6 happens relatively quickly. Is there anything in the middle that you would like to discuss for the followers or leaders?
Followers on count 5, 6, you have that turn again. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Let me get out of the
way. On count 5, you need to turn back again. It's not as important as the first 2 counts, but it still makes your life a lot easier.
Cool. And my final thing is what I call, when I teach group classes, like throw catch. What I mean by that is 1, 2, 3, and there's a throw and there's a catch on the other side. So go back to go forwards. When we are fully anchored, right, let's go fully anchored, we're at like a 10 out of 10 connection. That doesn't mean that it has to be particularly heavy, whatever the 10 is for you, right? When I get to the step before the anchor, which is count 6 in this whip, I want to start thinking about that connection. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, right? So Megan doesn't run into a wall, but she starts to feel some connection that tells her it's over. And then from here, we build into the anchor step, and like we've done in other beginner series videos, 3 and 4, so you can see it from the other side. I want to tuck that foot behind as good practice, so that way my center's moving away and I'm connecting into Miss Megan or away from Miss Megan. 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, speaking of the whip, if you want to learn 11 different whips for West Coast Swing, you'll want to watch this video over here. And if you haven't yet got our ebook, it's 200 tips and tricks to help you improve your West Coast Swing, every area of West Coast Swing, from beginners to musicality, styling, and anything. Took me like 3 months of my life to do. You can download it right here for free. We'll see you on a dance floor soon.